What's up, guys? We are back with a Mythic Legions review, and it has been a little while since we've done one of these because it's been a little while since we've had new figures. The last figures that we got from Legions were the PowerCon exclusives, and I never even got around to reviewing both of those. I only did one of them. And we finally got some new stuff, but we've also got some old stuff in All-Stars 3. And today we're going to be taking a look at Malleus. So this guy was one of the original Kickstarter figures in Wave 1, one of the figures that I never got a hold of, and I could never bring myself to pay the crazy prices that this guy commanded for the longest time. So we finally have one. We've got him here in the standard Mythic Legion style box, so collector-friendly package. You've got him there in that big window. He does have a bio card on the side panel, and then the back of the box has got not the original 1.0 backer card artwork, but this is the one from either Siege of Bjorngar or Wasteland, whichever one. I can't keep track of them anymore, but you've got some relatively new artwork on the back with a little bit of a write-up for Mythos. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our Malleus figure. So this guy for me is one that I've just needed in terms of crossing off some really big older figures in the line. This guy is one that just has eluded me for a while, but he's also a big character in terms of some of the backstory. He's one of the children of Necronominus, so one of the big bads in the line. He's also the brother to Morgulith and brother Mandibulus, which I have had for some time now from Advent of Decay. So this guy kind of completes a family almost for me in that regard, which I'm pretty happy with. And it's a skeleton, and I love skeletons when it comes to Mythic Legions. This guy's a 1.0 skeleton, which makes him even more exciting for me. It does mean we have slightly less articulation in some ways, but I love this style of skeleton figure in this line. So let's get started, see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. You've got a head that can look all the way up. He can look down a little bit. You do have an articulated jaw, so you can have him screaming or cackling, whatever you want. You've got really good tilt side to side. I mean, that's probably too much almost. And then you've got full rotation in there. You do have to kind of watch because he's got this gorget around his neck. You could take it off if you want, but I think it completes the look. So he goes about that far before he hits it and moves it. The arms will go out at the shoulders. You've got the rubbery piece on the arms, the ever-present like ratcheted on armor to their bones, and then you've got full rotation there. There is no bicep swivel on these guys. You do have a single jointed rotating elbow though. You've got forearm rotation, and then you've got hinges and rotation at the actual wrist itself down there. We've got a 1.0 body again, so it is a ball peg at the waist. So he goes backwards a little bit, forwards really good, and then you've got tilt side to side and rotation. Legs go out. Let's move that arm out of the way. Legs go out about that far. They, of course, kick forward all the way. If you kind of get them in between those armor pieces, they kick backwards all the way. There is no thigh cut on these guys because no thigh. And then you've got rotation and single joint at the knee. We've got rotation actually down at the ankle with rocker and with hinges. So this guy is, I mean, he's part and parcel for what a 1.0 figure is, especially a 1.0 skeleton, so there is really no surprises here. I knew exactly what I was getting into. I'm still very happy with the way these guys move. They are relatively easy to put in some very nice poses without much muss or fuss. And I mean, the only real thing that he's truly missing that I would love to see them have is a thigh cut, but at the same time, it's the anatomy of the character. I don't really get too hung up on it. Otherwise, though, it's a really nicely done figure, and I have not had any issues with stuck joints on these guys. They even included a little disclaimer in the box to make sure you heated them up. I didn't feel the need to do that, and ultimately it didn't matter here. He moves around just fine. That said, though, when it comes to Mythic Legions, and I haven't had a chance to say this in a long time, when it comes to Mythic Legions, I really care more about the aesthetics, the look, the feel, the design, because it's all about the way these characters and these figures look as a cohesive line that really draws me in. And skeletons are at the top for me. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if I have some thing for skeletons or not. I don't think that I do, but I really like skeletons in this line, and they do such a good job of just making them seem nasty and otherworldly and just plain evil. A lot of that comes from the head sculpt, but a lot of it is also the body too, the way they've got these parts used with this sort of Dark Knight armor on him, because I love this design for the armor when it comes to these guys. I mean, pretty much any character that has this kind of armor, I'm down for. Same for these boots, and the color scheme that they chose for this guy is really nasty looking. It just sort of seems like like an evil character's suit of armor. So he's got this sort of dark pewter color with a lot of silver dry brushing on it to bring out some of the nasty, just banged up detail on all of this armor. You've got his sort of signature color scheme when it comes to the gorget around his neck. And then, I mean, I still love this weird armor that's ratcheted onto their bones, but you've got, you know, the arm armor here with the sort of olive green color, and then that inlay black design with just a little touch of silver for those rivets. It's very minimal there, but it actually helps bring out the sculpt. And then you've got a lot of that here, but there's also some like black dry brushing all over this too to make it look worn and nasty alongside all of this black inlay with more of that kind of silvery gray piping. The bone sculpt on these guys is always really well done. There's little pits and kind of nooks and crannies kind of carved in there. You can't really see too much of it. Most of it's around the joints, like at the elbows and up towards the hips and at the knees. But when you really get in there, you can sort of appreciate how detailed they went when it comes to some of the bone work. But he really just sort of exudes this nasty, evil, ancient sort of presence. And I love the way that they did that in conjunction with this skull. So this is a skull that we've seen a number of times in the line. It's not anything really specific or unique at this point, but it looks so good because they've got this kind of deep brown wash that kind of brings out all the cracks that run through the skull, because it's a very real world type of skull. It looks very human, and you've got, you know, like some missing teeth in there. You've got those sort of dark sunken sockets for the eyes with a lot of nastiness and mud and gunk and blood in there. So the sculpt is really well done, but of course accented very nicely by all the paintwork. It is very much a Mythic Legions figure. Sculpt is fantastic, paint is really well done, and it all works together to make a really nice looking figure. Now, as far as accessories goes, Malleus he's pretty well stocked. He's not overflowing with accessories, but he comes with, for me anyway, a really cool pairing of one of my favorite accessories in the line. And it's one that we saw a lot of in the 1.0 Kickstarter, and this guy is kind of the poster child for it. So to start with, we've got the big sort of Dark Knight pauldrons on this guy, and these are really well done with like a kind of rustic black wash, but with a grimy kind of silver overcoat to them. So they look really battle worn and distressed. And I'm a big fan of this sculpt in general. So whenever it shows up on a figure, I'm instantly drawn to it, and I'm always going to use them. So the sculpt is fantastic. Paintwork is really well done. And he comes with the like the standard short sword here, or just like the regular sword, not one of the super long ones, but it's not a dagger either. So you've got a little sword here. It's got a slight patina to it, like a little bit of a rust overcoat, but for the most part it's just sort of a standard silver blade. And then we've got two of this big guy right here. So the big axe that was really prevalent in the original Kickstarter. We don't see it too much in a lot of the more recent stuff. It does pop up, but it was really prevalent in the first wave, and he comes with two of these, and I really like that. It is of course done up in his color scheme, so you've got that sort of like kind of olivey green inlay color, and then some of that nasty grimy black and silver. And just like all the other entries of this, you can take the kind of point off of it, and you get two of these, so you can make two double-sided axes. So you can have him wielding one one-sided axe, one double-sided axe, two of either, a combination, whatever you want to do. And it's just a really imposing weapon. I think the sculpt is really good, and it fits this guy really well. It makes him look incredibly evil and just nasty. So I'm really happy with these guys. And then, as usual, we do get some of, well, one of the ever-present accessories. We get the strap. This guy did not come with any back adapters. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I never know the rhyme or reason for when they're going to disappear. I don't need them at this point, but he didn't come with them for mine. But he did come with the strap, which of course you can use for sheathing, or just, you know, holstering rather, your sword and pop it on his waist or wrap it around his chest or whatever you're going to do. So he doesn't come with a ton of stuff, but I think what he has is really well done. Dig the shoulder pads, the pauldrons, and then I absolutely love those axes. So yeah, this guy's pretty fantastic. If you're into skeletons with Mythic Legions like I am, he's definitely a no-brainer if you don't already have him. Maybe if you do already have him, because there are certainly folks out there who army build this guy. And I've been pretty jealous of this one for a while because I've never been able to track him down for what I wanted to pay. And thankfully, that patience finally paid off for me when it comes to Legions, and I was able to get him for regular retail price, and I'm all the more happier for it because it's a fantastic figure. He completes the little trinity when it comes to himself, Morgulith, and Brother Mandibulus now, and he's just an awesome looking figure. It's a really nasty looking skeleton, and they're my favorite race, faction, whatever you want to call them. When it comes to Mythic Legions, I'm all about the skeletons, and this is one more that I can cross off the list. So that's going to do it for this look at the Mythic Legions All-Stars 3 Malleus. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.